All right, this is a absolute crazy bug. And I'm just going to throw this thing in because I think I can tie this thing up. But we're going to look for this little spot back in here. So we get these little just killer little pieces of marabou. Again, I'm off of the same marabou. So this is the big nature spirit. And I'm going to come in and I'm literally going to take one or two. And I'm just going to go like this and pluck a few out because we're not going to need very many. Okay, so here is my foundation. And again, I'm using just white GSP. This fly, I'm just going to call it the Angry Inch. Because it's something, again, nobody's going to commercially tie this. And I mean, I may import some of this stuff or just do it myself because this fly is so freaking productive. But most people look at it and they go, are you kidding me, Derek? Seriously? And I'm like, yep. And then we're going to see if we can find something clear down in here. Again, I'm going to just taper everything down to just a little bit. And this is, I think this might be a little too heavy, but the whole idea of this bug is that it's very, very sparse. And you will be shocked at how unproductive this is. You have to bear with me a little bit, guys. I'm unfortunately I'm 50 years old, so everything was competitive. And so if you wanted to catch fish, and when you started figuring things out, you just shut your mouth. You didn't tell anybody. You didn't talk about it except for a few of your select friends. And even then it was, can you trust them? And anyway, I've trying to get over that the older I get. Okay, we're just going to take two of these guys. And again, this is just your variegated marabou. And we're just going to put a couple strands in there. And we're going to slowly wrap up like this because we're going to use this underlying body. And when you see how simple this is, you're going to seriously, I don't know, tie one just because whether you have confidence to fish it. Trust me, we all get to the point where we're so desperate we'll try anything. And this is the dude to do it. All right. Now we are simply going to whip finish this. This is a fly I used to tie, and we could only use, back in the day, 5-minute epoxy, and it was a nightmare. You had to tie 5 of them before you got one that was halfway decent. And you had to have a slow turner, which I eventually bought a slow turner, and it was, not super productive. So now we got this white base, and we can probably just, I don't know, it's looking pretty good. Maybe we'll mark it up a little bit. What do you think? So let's try, I'm such a huge fan of this color. This is just, it's like a butterscotch, but it's just one of those colors that just mimics so many things. I mean, this is a golden stone. A golden stonefly color in dubbing is really, really good leech color. And it's overlooked because the color is called golden stone. So nobody really pays attention to it. So, all right, now we're going to get into a little bit of a tricky part, and I'm going to see how well I do here. But we're just going to start off with just a super fine, light layer. And let that settle in. You can see if we were using 5-minute epoxy, the clock's ticking. And then once you think you got it set, you got to put it on something or just sit here and rotate it yourself. So it's not the best. Okay, so I'm getting a little schniddly bit. For all my buddies that guided in Alaska, if you're watching, they understand what the word schniddly is. All right, we're gonna put a little bit more up front. Ooh, that's gonna be tight. Yep, gonna need to start rotating. Get some back. This is obviously just for you guys. I wouldn't spend this much time trying to make it look so pretty. But some people out there are just going to go, that's not going to fish. So I got to try to make it a little bit sexier than I normally would. I'm going to do, initially, I'm going to do a first, come back a little bit. Okay, so let me, see how this is kind of going? You can just kind of speed things up a little bit. And that's good enough. And we're going to add a little bit more to the head in round 2. Okay, so let's get a bit more. How's that looking? Not too bad. Notice how I just keep things spinning. It just makes it look a little better. What do you think? A little more towards the head? Or should we just call it good? Now this thing in the water, again, fishes, you're gonna, I gave, one guy was out there fishing, I was fishing, I think it was Crane Prairie, and one guy was, you know, struggling a little bit, and he'd asked me how I did, and man, it was just a banner day, and I just gave him a bunch of them. I had like, I don't know, half a dozen of them, and I gave them to him, and he looked at me like, what? And I just said, look, it's just a really, they take it for a leech, they take it for a damsel, they take it for all kinds of things. So there you have the angry inch. It might be about an inch. It's not very big, maybe a little. The angry 1.5 inches. You guys can comment, subscribe, all that jazz. So if you like this stuff, there's going to be some really kick-ass stuff coming down the pipe that I'm going to show you guys that I've done. And it's basically, you know, 25 years of experience in the fly fishing industry and getting factories set up, being a sales rep for, oh gosh, probably 20 different fly companies. But there you go.